Good day everyone, I am Jonas Luciano and you're watching NSTP. Today, I, together with my co-reporters, will bring you the fresh and informative news that you need. We will give emphasis on the value clarification, core and related values, and the development of good habits for effectiveness. In this very moment, we will know what value clarification is. Ms. Efe, Lucy, and Guevara reported.
Thank you, Mr. Luciano. Good day, IS student. Right now, you will learn about value clarification in the 3 basic steps of it. Value clarification is a difficult task. Why? Because one of the big challenges in value clarification is whether the values embedded in or elicited from one cultural system can be adequately understood in another. Also, informal values clarification instruments do not always deliver relevant information. Now, for the 3 basic steps of value clarification, the first one is choice. It is an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with 2 or more possibilities. Next is the value. It is a person's principle or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. And the last one is the action. It is the fact or process of doing something typically to achieve an aim. The process of values clarification provides a means to teach students a set of skills that will be with them always, rather than our values that will only be with students when we are with them. Therefore, it is not devoid of values but devoid of judgment and perceived morality. That will be all from my report. Ms. Lucy?
Yes, Ms. Efe. For the continuation about the report of value clarification, I'm here to give you an idea or two about what values are. The first one is that values are better than rules. Rules are there to protect us. Yet, our values are what drives change, progress, and innovation. The values come back to our cultural ethics, which guide us in what's good or bad, right or wrong, in a given situation. They regulate a person's behavior or conduct and help us collectively live in a good life. Next one is that values serves as outline goals. Values are like a compass that give us headed in the desired direction and are distinct from goals. Goals are the specific ways you intend to execute your values. A goal is something what we aim and check off once we have accomplished. Being responsible in a value, an explicit set of values shall form the foundation of an organization because they endure. That's all my report. Is your turn, Ms. Guevara.
Thank you, Ms. Lucy, for the last 2 informations about value clarification. I would be responsible for providing you that. The first one is that values send a message. Values are our most fundamental principles. The ideas are so essential to our personal and national identities that violating them seems unthinkable. They are also a powerful communication tools, a means of establishing a human connection that can cut through stereotypes. And a good values teaches and guides the members of organization. A symbolic act affirms the value over and over. And the last information that I can give to you regarding to the value clarification is that values shape an organization. Ultimately, core values support the company's vision by deciding the company's identity. It belief system. They improve organizational morale and pride, and unite employees of all levels whenever they are based. Most importantly, they provide the behavioral standards that an organization demands from its people. That would be all the information that we can give you with regards to the topic of value clarification. Back to you, Mr. Luciano.
Thank you, Ms. Efe, Lucy, and Guevara. Now that we already know what value clarification is, first, let's have a short break. We will be back soon, so stay tuned, IS students.
Sa Shopee, bumili, free shipping, ping, sa Shopee. Sa Shopee, bumili, free shipping, mag-shop.
Bili na sa Shopee. Salamat, Shopee!
Welcome back, IS student. Let us now proceed with the core and related values to be reported to us by Mr. Manish.
Thank you, Luciano. And now I'm going to tell you about the core and related values. Human values are the virtues that guide us to take into account human element when we interact to other human beings. Human values are, for example, respect, acceptance, consideration, empathy, and love towards for human beings. There are 7 human core values that could be specific, further explained later. Remember the human dignity of overacting values, all the other values virtue, because the inner world, the human person, that would be all. This is Romel Manisha reporting.
Thank you, Mr. Magnesia. Now to give us specific explanation about the components of the core and related values, here are Mr. Salcedo, Manisha, Petalco, and Portos.
Thank you, Mr. Luciano. Today, I will give you an idea about the two dimensions of the human person when it comes to himself, the physical and the intellectual dimension. When we say physical dimension, man must maintain health and harmony with nature. He should not abuse and overuse his body. His physical nature called for the harmony of the material world. Under the value of health are physical fitness, cleanliness, harmony with the material universe, beauty and art. While intellectual dimension encourage creative, stimulating mental activities. Our mind need to continually inspire and exercise just as our bodies do. People who possess and high level of intellectual wellness have an active mind and continue to learn under the value of the truth of knowledge and creative and critical thinking. That's all my report, Mr. Manisha.
Yes, Mr. Salcedo. Now I will tell you about the moral spiritual dimension of human person. When we say moral dimension, it means that man is endowed with faculty of freely choosing and loving. Man must go out, others, and in fact, to all humanity in the spirit of love. Under the value of love, we have integrity, honesty, self-worth or self-esteem, and personal discipline. On the other hand, when we talk about the spiritual dimension is involved in exploring the key principle beliefs value that gives meaning purpose to your life. It's about living way consistent you with your worldview while also being tolerant of others who hold different beliefs and values. And under the value of spiritually is our faith in God. That's all, Mr. Pitalco.
Yes, Mr. Manisha. For my report, I will tell you about the social dimension of human person. When it comes to community, under the social dimension, we have family, of course, society. But let us first define a social dimension is. Social dimension is concerned for the values, norms, rules, and roles. One of greatest sources of influence on human behavior emanating from the cultural dimension. The family performs several essential functions for society. It socializes when it promotes emotional and practical support for its members. It helps regulate sexual activity and sexual production, and it provides its members with a social identity. Now, let's identify the aspect under the value of social responsibility. Those are mutual love and respect, fidelity, responsible, parenthood, common good, freedom, social justice, peace, and popular participation. That would be all, Mr. Portos. It's your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Pitalco. And now, for the last part of the core and related values, we have the economic and political dimensions. When we say economic dimension, man has the obligation to help achieve economic efficiency for the community aside from his own financial uplift. Economic efficiency is achieved by man through work. Work ethics is imperative, particularly in a country with depressed economy. Other aspects under the value of economic efficiency are thrift, self-reliance, productivity, entrepreneurship, and scientific and technological knowledge. On the other hand, political dimension is the practice and theory of influencing other people on a civic or individual level. More narrowly, it refers to achieving and exercising position of governance, organized control over human community, particularly a state. In political dimension, we have a value of nationalism and global solidarity. In nationalism, it includes common identity, national unity, esteem of national heroes, commitment, pride, and solidarity. Back to you, Mr. Luciano.
Thank you guys. Let's first take a short break. Stay tuned because we will be back.
Sasarap, pak na pak, sasaya. Anong pak ang mataas tumalon? Ano? Di baklo. Pak sa lasa, walang MSG. Unipak quality, sulit for everybody. Guys, anong pak ang kailangan gawin? Ano? Pakyaw na. Unipak, sarap na pak.
Welcome back, IS student. For the last report that we will hear today, here is Miss Manong Song to give us a report about developing good and habit for effectiveness. Miss Manong Song.
Thank you, Mr. Luciano. Now, for the last part of this news report, which is about developing good habits for effectiveness, let me do the honor of serving and providing you the information that you need. Our character is the composite of our habits. Habits are powerful factors in our lives. Because they are consistent, often unconscious patterns, they constantly, daily, express our character. Knowledge is the ability to know what needs to happen. Skill is the ability to do what needs to happen. And desire is the motivation to do what needs to be done. Without all three, a habit cannot be formed. In simple terms, a habit cannot be formed if you do not know how to form it or if you have no desire or motivation to form a new habit. Which is why all three pieces are important in building a habit for effectiveness. Effectiveness is defined as the basis of a person's character, creating an empowering center of correct maps from which an individual can effectively solve problems, maximize opportunities, continually learn, and integrate principles in an upward growth. That would be all for today's news report. I am Jameline Manongsong, reporting.
That will be all for today's report. I hope you heard everything that you need to hear. Thank you. Again, this is Jonas Luciano, your news anchor, and you're watching ISTV.